Imagine a world that's one single, living being. A planet-spanning, sentient forest called Verdantius. Its consciousness flows through an intricate network of roots, a global brain deep within the planet's core. The people here, the Verdanti, aren't born in the traditional sense. They are grown, symbiotic parts of the forests, with their bodies, a perfect fusion of plant and animal, are flawlessly adapted to their treetop world. They live in total harmony with the great forest, dedicating their lives to its care. Among them was Kaelen, a warden. His job was unique and lonely. He explored the silent zones, areas of the forest untouched by the world mind's consciousness. He always felt more at home in the wild, untamed parts of Verdantius than in the neat, cultivated groves of his people. He shared a deeper bond with the raw, untamed spirit of the forest than with the collective mind of his kin. But this perfect harmony was about to be shattered. A meteorite crashed into Verdantius. It wasn't just a rock from space. It was a prison. Inside, trapped for eons in crystalline stasis, was Mortis the Life-Ender, an ancient entity imprisoned for the crime of wiping out entire biospheres. Mortis was a being of pure entropy, an artist who found beauty not in creation, but in watching life wither and die. "Ah, what a beautiful garden," Mortis whispered as its consciousness seeped from the shattered meteorite. Its voice sounded like autumn leaves crumbling to dust. So much life, so much potential for exquisite death. What followed was the Petrification Blight, Mortis's masterpiece. It was a calcifying agent that didn't just kill, it preserved its victims in their final moment of agony. Kaelen watched in absolute horror as the mighty trees of Verdantius were turned to stone, their wooden faces frozen in silent screams of terror. The Verdanti themselves were caught in the creeping wave of petrification, their hybrid forms twisted into grotesque statues, monuments to Mortis's cruel artistry. But Mortis saved its most sadistic touch for the world mind itself. Instead of a quick end, it slowly petrified the root network, forcing the planetary consciousness to feel every single death, every moment of agony, as its children were transformed into lifeless stone. The planet's screams echoed through dimensions, a symphony of suffering conducted by Mortis with glee. "Do you hear that, little warden?" Mortis taunted Kaelen, its voice echoing in his mind as the petrification wave closed in. "That is the sound of a world dying in perfect harmony. Soon you too will join my collection, and your beautiful forest will become my greatest sculpture." As the blight advanced, Kaelen made a desperate, impossible choice. He raced not away from the danger, but towards it. Straight to the impact crater where Mortis's true form was emerging, a towering figure of crystalline bone and withered flesh. Its eyes like black holes, devouring the very light. Instead of fleeing or fighting, Kaelen plunged his hands directly into the heart of the blight. He didn't want to destroy it. He wanted to understand it. The pain was beyond description. Kaelen felt his own life force being siphoned away, his plant hybrid nature turning against him as the calcifying agent began its work on his body. But in that moment of ultimate sacrifice, something incredible happened. The world mind, in its final throes of agony, reached out to its most devoted servant and merged its consciousness with his. The transformation was explosive. Kaelen's body dissolved and then reformed as a being of pure life force. His consciousness expanded, encompassing every living thing left on Verdantius. He could feel every blade of grass, every tiny organism, every root and branch, as if they were extensions of his own body. He had become the Sylvan Sovereign, the living avatar of the world mind itself. The battle that followed was a clash between the fundamental forces of the universe. Life versus death. Mortis, now fully manifested, stood 300 feet tall, a shifting nightmare of crystalline bone and shadow. Its attacks were waves of pure entropy, beams of energy that aged everything they touched to dust. Clouds of spores that turned living tissue to stone. "You cannot stop me, little gardener," Mortis roared, its voice alone causing forests to wither. "I am entropy incarnate. I am the end that awaits all things." But the Sylvan Sovereign fought back with the fury of a dying world. He commanded massive trees to erupt from the ground like spears, growing so fast they shattered the sound barrier. He summoned swarms of carnivorous vines that struck like vipers and created walls of thorns that regenerated faster than Mortis could destroy them. Mortis, however, was ancient and cunning. It changed tactics. It began targeting not the Sovereign, but the few remaining living creatures of Verdantius. It forced our hero into an impossible choice: attack or defend. Each time the Sovereign moved to save a group of Verdanti, Mortis would strike elsewhere, slowly chipping away at the planet's remaining life. You see, Mortis laughed as it petrified a grove of young trees. This is why life is inferior. Life must protect, nurture, sacrifice. Death simply takes. "I will turn your compassion into your weakness." It was then that the Sylvan Sovereign had a revelation. He was fighting on Mortis's terms. He couldn't win by trying to destroy the Blight. So he changed his strategy. He began to transform it. Using his newfound connection to the world mind, he rewrote the very nature of the calcifying agent. He turned it from a weapon of death into a catalyst for new life. The petrified trees began to crack and split, not with decay, but with new growth. Crystalline flowers bloomed from stone bark. The Verdanti, who had been turned to statues, found themselves transformed into beings of living crystal, more beautiful and resilient than ever before. Mortis screamed in rage and confusion as its perfect weapon of death became an instrument of evolution. "What have you done? This is impossible. Death cannot become life." "You're wrong," the Sylvan Sovereign replied, his voice now a chorus of every living thing on Verdantius. "Death has always been part of life. You just forgot how to let it grow." Faced with its own weapon turned against it, Mortis itself began to transform. Its crystalline form sprouted with new growth, not the decay it embodied, but genuine life. Flowers bloomed from its bones. Its eyes, once voids of darkness, became pools of clear water reflecting the sky. The entity that was once Mortis, the Life-Ender, became something newer, guardian of the balance between life and death. Its consciousness merged with the world mind, ensuring Verdantius would never again face such a threat. Kaelen, now the Sylvan Sovereign, had saved his world, but his union with the world mind had opened his awareness to a greater universe. A universe of countless worlds, each with its own song of life. He heard a call, a summons to a distant nexus point, a gathering of champions. With a final, silent farewell to the forest that was now a part of him, he grew a living ship from the heart of a starflower. He set a course for the unknown, no longer just a warden of one world, but a guardian of life in all its forms, across all of creation. What an incredible journey of sacrifice and transformation. Stories like this show that even in the face of absolute destruction, life finds a way. Thanks so much for watching with me today. If you enjoyed this cosmic tale, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories from across the universe. Until next time, stay curious.